has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
It's Ferrall on the bench, coast to coast in the biggest way possible. Hanging out the bad seed, the broken the bad apple with a bad attitude. We are live in New York City, the Big Apple. Ooh, people dressed in plastic bags, directing traffic, some kind of fashion shake-it-up should do me. Yeah. Ooh, woo, woo. I don't know if you noticed that. I'm with the mayor of Miami today, Joe Ranieri. And, of course, Mafia running it with Luke, I am your father. When I did the plastic bags, I just used my 3 fingers on the outside because I busted my thumb today playing basketball. I mean, I tore it up nice and juicy, like 2-3 weeks at least. Can't even hold a sandwich. Can't use the phone. And by the way, when I was done playing, Joe, I was in the shower with Handy Boy. I had to use my left hand shampooing. And then
awful.
Now I have to eat with my left hand. Handy Boy. And then I can't do anything. So I'm done. Joe recommended earlier, right before the show started, that I start drinking heavily because I'm going to miss all my games tomorrow. And he said, what's the point? If you're not playing, you might as well drink your way through it. Joe, I want to start with first the rundown. We've got Double Shot with Morency. Then we've got Mike DeCourcy. Then we've got Coach James Young. And then the old blue liner is now involved in the third hour, George Kurtz. We'll get into everything, but I want to start with this. Tom Thibodeau just got fired in New York as the coach of the Knicks after 5 years and a 56% winning stretch and 4 playoff trips and an Eastern Conference Finals fail against the Pacers, and he's out the door today. Are you surprised? And I've already heard people within minutes saying Michael Malone.
Oh, well, that's probably not a bad way. Good to see you here, Scotty. But, I mean, listen, at least Malone won a ring. He did get this team to, the playoffs 4 times, Scotty? And yes. I don't believe there's a ring in New York. So, hey, time for a change. I don't know how much they can change this team outside of doing what they just did moving forward.
Yeah, like I said yesterday that I didn't think it was a good idea. Now, with immediacy, my son, who's a giant NBA fan and a Thunder fan, with immediacy, he said he's a terrible coach. And I was like, well, you're tripping terrible. The guy won 56%. So yesterday on the show, I said, in layman's terms, 53 wins you money in Vegas if you're hitting 53% of your bets. In the NFL, you're like, you're a stud. You're hitting 55. You're literally almost a rock star. Anything above that, and you're, superhuman. How is it that every guy in the league is either at 50 or below in their career, and a guy like this goes 56% in 5 years and you fire him? I mean, it is almost impossible to win 56% of your games in the NBA with the parity that's in that league. Let's just face facts.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Scotty, the name you just mentioned as a possible replacement, he's 2 years removed from taking his team and winning the championship, and they fired him. So yeah. It's an amazing league as far as that goes, where, all right, he's there 5 years, 4 of the 5, the team makes it to the playoffs. They obviously fall short of the goal here, but 226 and 174 in the regular season, that's pretty good numbers, especially for a Knicks team that not a lot of people thought was ever going to get past Boston or Cleveland.
So what's interesting about the mayor is not only does he have an incredible penthouse in Miami, but he also has a recording studio in the penthouse where sometimes he'll do the show from, which I've done college and I think, hoops and football with him from the recording studio, which is like, you would think it was the Rolling Stones were in there recording. And then today he goes to the second floor up to the sports book. You can see he's literally in the sports book in the penthouse.
Yep.
I guess these are the extremities of being the mayor of Miami, having that kind of juice that he has a view. He's got a recording studio. He's got a giant island in his kitchen where his chef makes him 3 meals a day. And then he can go to the sports book and place bets without having to go to the Hard Rock or offshore in a boat.
Yep. And you forgot as well, Scotty. I mean, this is South Florida, so we also sip a lot of champagne out of the Stanley Cup because that's what we do here in South Florida. We are home. I don't know if folks noticed. Yeah, Stanley Cup champs back here again shortly. Here, Scott, we'll have it.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about that at some length during the show. But right off the bat, I want to ask you because I'm on the Oilers. Believe it or not, after I was on the Panthers last year. And luckily, they won 2-1 in Game 7 after blowing a 3-0 lead. They're lucky they won that Stanley Cup when you think about it. 2-1 in a Game 7 at home. That's slim pickings, son. Now, I think this guy, McDavid, will not be denied the second time around like Gretzky wasn't against the Islanders, like Crosby wasn't against the Red Wings. I don't think McDavid will be denied by the Panthers. Do you think the Panthers are repeating again with the utmost confidence? It sounds like you do think they are.
Listen, they look very similar. Just the whole attitude of this team, Scotty, watching it now all year long. This is a team that was built to win in the playoffs. They have been built and constructed to do exactly what they have been doing. And much like Tampa Bay, you remember those Tampa Bay teams over the last couple of years, Scotty, that they wouldn't be denied either. They just had that look and they just figured out a way to get it done every year. You got the same vibe from this Florida team where, yes, it ain't going to happen in 4 or 5 games, but are you going to be really shocked if the Panthers repeat as champs? Because I won't be.
No, I won't be either. By the way, Joe, I'm coming down there, and I'm going to be there. I think during the what's the holiday with all the fireworks and everything? Is that the 4th of Ferrall? I think it is. Yeah, I'm going to be down there. I think you and I have to hook up for either some gambling, some drinking, or the Scarlets, or all of the above, which would be D. Or would that be C? I don't know. Anyway, I'm coming down there. Also, the question begs. Do you feel there has been some winds blowing that I should go back to Miami to end, the remaining days of my life and go back to where I used to live in Boca and finish it off like my dad did, like my grandpa did. I went there for 50 plus years, being the Canes fan that I am and quasi Panthers outsider. Do you think and Marlins, I did that 03 season when they beat the Yankees. Do you think I should move back to Miami?
Listen, there is something to be waking up to the ocean, Scotty, in your underwear, walking downstairs, getting a Cuban coffee and and a pastry and going right to the beach. I mean, there are worse ways you could spend the last of your days. You know this.
There was a gas station right next to QAM where I used to get the Cuban coffee, and you drink. You drink a double of that in the morning. I mean, you talk about steroids. You talk about HGH. You talk about human fuel. I mean, that was the. Yep. I mean, I think I got through morning drive with that, and then I'd be shaking. Strung out and shaking. We got the mayor of Miami today all day on C2C. Go with us.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Falcons are actually relieved that he's kind of not there to create more of a distraction. Look, I mean, I said it the day it happened. It was one of the stupider decisions I've ever seen by a professional NFL franchise to sign a quarterback to a $180 million contract and then draft his replacement exactly 5 weeks later. This was a terrible organizational decision by the Falcons. Now, they're going to spin this, and this is what's annoying about the Falcons and their PR staff. They're going to spin this as if this is the plan we had all along. This is the plan that when, Kirk Cousins either got hurt or didn't play well or got too old, we were going to have Penix come in. And guess what? The new plan is now we're going to keep Kirk Cousins as a backup. So if Michael Penix gets hurt, we told you so. We were right for keeping him on the roster. We were smart for keeping him here. No, this whole thing has been an abject disaster.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The Steelers' interest in Aaron Rodgers as a joke. Your boy went off about the entire situation and why it taken so long to forget him. Terry Bradshaw getting involved.
Yeah, and saying basically, what are you bringing him in for 1 year? All of this drama for 1 year at this guy, where he is now in his career is he's washed.
Ferrall coast to coast, only on SportsGrid.
These are the things that Morency and I worry about more than other things. Some people worry about their bills or their mortgage or their car payment or their health insurance or their life insurance. Morency and I are worried about how far is the dispensary from the broadcast location. Are we on the air? Don't talk about. Okay. Sports Rage is weeknights at 10 on all of our TV and radio outlets. We get Morency for a double shot every day from Vancouver. He went to see the wallflowers the other day. I won't tell anyone. So your thoughts on Thibodeau getting fired today? I just got Joe Ranieri's take on it. Are you surprised at all that a guy that goes to the playoffs 4 to 5 years, takes him to the Eastern Conference Finals, takes him to the conference semifinals, I think twice, wins 56% of his games, and they whacked him today? Thanks for nothing.
Yes, I am surprised, Scott. I know a lot of people might say, I'm not. I personally am. I didn't see this coming. And it's funny because I saw the Kevin Durant rumors, and, obviously we're in the rumor season right now. So there was talk of Kevin Durant to the Knicks, potentially. And I was actually thinking about the Knicks this morning, Scott, before Thibodeau, like moments before Thibodeau got fired. It was bizarre. I was actually thinking, I was like, how can the Knicks get better? I was like, they just sort of need to tweak the roster a little bit. I don't know. And I was thinking, I don't know if Durant is the right guy personally. But the Knicks are pretty close right now. I think the Knicks thought, Scott, that, all right, let's say we tweak it, we bring in this guy, or we do this. Thibodeau will be the same coach. He's going to coach the same way with these guys, no matter who we bring in. I always trust the general manager and the people that are actually in the room. Remember the Malone stuff where it seemed surprising, but there was just so much, and, it wasn't a healthy room to be in at the time. Maybe the Knicks just think, you know what, Tibbs can't take us to the next level, right? He's just not this guy. He's not going to change in his ways ever. He's never going to adapt. He is who he is. So I guess that's what they're thinking. But, yeah, it surprised me, Scott.
Do you think, you talk about Malone, we talked about Malone as well. Like, I've already heard his name within minutes, that they need someone that's done it. And he's done it. Do you think that's reality, that they would go after the guy that just got fired because all the players hated him because he was cussing them out?
I think it's a big-time reality, Scott. And I think it's a big, probably reason why they did this when they did it as quickly as they did. Malone's going to be a hot commodity. So you've got to believe that they're thinking, you know what? We've got Malone in our back pocket. He's going to take this job. We know he will. We also know other teams are going to be going after this dude. So let's not wait and go through another season if we know what we want to do here and bring Malone in. And the other name, Scott, which it'll be a lot of fun for people like you and me if it happens, is Jay Wright. I don't get the feeling that Jay Wright wants that pressure. He seems to be pretty happy on TV. He's got no pressure at all. He's already a multimillionaire. He's got nothing to prove in a basketball world. But, basically, I can almost just picture the press conference now, Scott. I don't know about you, of Jay Wright saying, guys, I had a lot of chances to coach in the NBA, and I never did, but the fact that it's Jalen Brunson. You know what I'm saying? The fact, it's basically Villanova, right? I mean, without Dante right now, so you got all these Nova dudes.
What about Danny Hurley?
I don't think, Hurley, God, man. I don't think Hurley, let's not go down that road. Do you even want Hurley? Hurley's a psychopath, bro. Do you imagine him as the coach of the Knicks? Dear God. His ego's big enough as it is. I guess so.
I mean, the Lakers almost got him, and they couldn't seal the deal. He's an East Coast guy. He's a Jersey City guy.
Well, that's
He's a
the
Knicks
thing.
guy.
He wouldn't have to leave anywhere, Scott. It's completely different. Going to the West Coast and the Lakers, completely different world. It's like going to a different planet, if you're hurting.
Right.
This is, he wouldn't have to move his house, technically. Like, you know what I mean? Honestly, people commute from Connecticut to New York all the time, rich people, right? He wouldn't have to move if he didn't really want to.
He'd take a helicopter.
Yeah, exactly. The Uber copter.
Honestly, right to the West Side Highway.
It's a good call, though. He wouldn't have to move. Like, it wouldn't uproot his life. Like you say, he's a Jersey guy. Knicks, so not a bad call. But so that's what I'm saying, Scott. There's going to be a lot of names thrown out there, but as a betting man, and I'm sure the books are going to have this up momentarily, who's going to next coach is going to be. I'll say Malone, though. I think they think Malone, we're going to get Malone to be our guy. He won a title. He's a little bit more open-minded with, run and gun. And, I thought maybe they didn't like the way he managed the roster and he ran the players into the ground.
What do you think's wrong with the Knicks, Gabe? I always felt the Pacers were a better team than they were. I thought they had 2 sets of 5 that could beat anybody. 2 units that could go play +2 on the bench in case you need to get more burn and rest. The Knicks, to me, were a 7-man outfit, and then they started playing 8 and 9 with Shamet and Wright.
I like what Robinson gave them. I like what Robinson gave them, Scott, in the series.
Was great, but he's never healthy.
No, that's the problem. When I look at the Knicks, Scott, the problem is they're offensively challenged, and I know they put points up against the Pacers, but they couldn't win at that pace. Karl-Anthony Towns is a defensive liability. So, I've never been a massive fan of his. I think he's a nice guy. He's a great guy. I don't like big men that just shoot threes. He's soft. He doesn't play defense. So it's kind of a liability there. Brunson sort of has a window, right? He's going to give you 25, but there's sort of a limit here. Like a lot of teams, Scott, I think they have too many of the same type of players. A lot like the Raptors. They travel a 6'8" raw guy, defensive guy. Yeah, we don't have enough shooters, man. You need more, just modern shooters. Guys that can put the ball in the basket quickly. I think the Knicks are missing that. I know they were old Durant. Durant's old, man. These people that hang their hat on Durant right now, I don't get it. I'm a big KD.
Now. He's always out.
Can you believe the Sixers want him? Oh, that'll help. Him and Embiid together, Scott?
I don't want anything to do with that dude anymore.
No, and I like him. It's dude, no. Not at 40 or 50 mil, Scott. He makes a ton of money, too. That's the whole thing. I was thinking about, because Kevin Durant actually grew up a Raptor fan. No kidding. He was a Vince Carter fan, liked the logo. He openly said, he talks about how he loves Toronto all the time. And it's always been talked about in Toronto. And I'm thinking, if he wants to play in Toronto, Scott, for 20 mil, I'd be sure. But you'd be crazy. The guy makes $60 million a year.
He's going to go to Toronto with Giannis now?
No, I'm not. Well, I'm sure he'd want to if Giannis ends up there. The Giannis stuff isn't crazy, and I'll tell you why, Scott, on the other side. If people go, Giannis not Toronto, I'll tell you why it isn't.
All right.
Knicks really got past that playoff dragon for them that really stood in their way. So for the New York Knicks to be the Celtics and then an outright favorite to win the Eastern Conference Finals, that's where the disappointment is.
The goalposts got moved, right? Because when you went into the Celtics series, a lot of Knicks fans said they weren't going to beat it. I'll say this is more unprecedented than the 99 run when they were the 8th seed.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
No one is going to pick Indiana. No one's going to pick Indiana to make it close, honestly. Like, you could get tremendous odds if you pick OKC in 7.
I think that taking the series over 5.5 games, the last 2 NBA Finals series ended in 5. I think this one goes 6. I think the Thunder will get the job done, but I think the Pacers are just too strong of a team and too talented of a team and too deep of a team to lose in 5 or fewer games.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
All right, so we're talking to Morency. Why would Giannis go to Toronto?
Well, Masai Ujiri, of course, the Raptors president. He's not really the general manager anymore. He's kind of the president of basketball operations, but he's of Nigerian descent, obviously. And so was Giannis. And Masai has known Giannis since they were children, since he was a kid. And Masai is like best friends with Giannis's father. So much so, guys, that like Masai Ujiri is influential Nigerian basketball, etc. Masai Ujiri is the one that got Giannis's family. He set it up. You guys are going to move to Greece. And you know what I mean? He got them the permanent residency type stuff. Like they're that tight. Like they speak all the time. There's been word out there that I know it's not crazy, but Giannis said, you know what? Brooklyn or New York. And I don't get the Brooklyn thing personally, right? So I don't know where this Brooklyn Nets stuff is coming from. But I can tell you for a fact, before Giannis re-signed with the Bucks, the Raptors thought they had a shot with this, just due to the personal relationship. The Raptors do have a lot of assets as well. It's already fired. It's been flying fast and furious, but now the rumors are really starting to pick up that Scotty Barnes is the target. And Masai loves Scotty Barnes so much that he ran OG and Siakam out of town because he wanted to make Barnes the face of the franchise. Masai pulled it off once before, Scott, with Kawhi Leonard. So it's sort of like in Masai we trust. The guy got a title for them, man. Right? And yeah, it's been a couple of years of leandom, and he's rebuilding, and he guaranteed it. He goes, I promise you, I will end with a title. He said, we will get this back. Can they pull this off? I don't know. Everybody's going to be going after Giannis.
Maybe.
As a betting man, I don't even think he's going to get traded, personally.
Maybe if he's in Brooklyn or in New York, Trump will deport him because he's deporting everyone else. He might be safer in Canada.
I read about that Maluk guy that plays for Duke. He's in the draft. He actually has that problem. Like he's Nigerian too, and he lost. They've lost their status actually. I guess if you're in the NBA, you get saved somehow, Scott. But everyone else is screwed.
It wouldn't matter with him because he never got one rebound in the NCAA Final Four. So I don't think.
You know what's funny? He's projected to go to the Raptors in the mock drafts right now. There's a connection there, right?
Yeah.
He'd be perfect with the Raptors. Another guy that can't shoot and
can't shoot and can't rebound. He's a toothpick. No thanks. So let me ask you. as we get closer to the finals Thursday in Oak City, the Thunder and the Pacers, how do you think it's going to play out?
I'm talking myself into the fact that the Pacers can play with these guys. I don't care about the number. I know about Oklahoma City's dominance, Scott. You know, Oklahoma City are nearly impossible to beat at home. You know, only Denver did, right? So they've lost one game on their home floor. I don't know if the Pacers are going to be able to pull it off like at Oklahoma City. But I think the Pacers can win at home. We've seen the pattern with the Oklahoma City Thunder on the road against everybody, except Memphis, where they just smoked them. Is that they go on the road, they don't look good in one of the games, they get smoked, and then the other game they come back and they win. Right? And then they go back home and they beat you, and it's game, set, match, series is over. I believe that the Pacers can squeeze out a couple of home wins in this series, Scott. I'm taking the Pacers plus 2.5 games at minus 110. So that's one bet that I'm looking at right there. I do believe this series goes 6, even maybe 7 games, Scott. If I had to say right now, I'll say, you know what, Oklahoma in 7. But I think, you know, from a betting perspective, I'm pulling the trigger with the Pacers plus 2.5 games.
So we have Joe Ranieri on today for Carver, and he's convinced
I heard
the
him
Panthers
talking
are
about the
going to win.
Panthers.
So
These
what do you
guys.
think?
I want to kick sand in this party. I'm tired of all 12 Panther fans talking smack because they talk smack to me online. Here's Ranieri. I know we can bring him in here. There's like 12 of them, but you guys are pretty loud. And it's been an epic
He can take
run.
me out and put Joe in. He's laughing at you right now.
I know. Hey, I love Joe. We go way back. But I'm just stating, man, there's a lot of smack talk coming from Florida. I see Amanda Vance. Welcome to the home of hockey on the beach. So it's not the home of hockey. You won 1 cup, all right? You've been there 3 times. You won once. You win this one, then I got to really shut up, and you can throw sand in my face, Ranieri. Oilers win the Stanley Cup.
I'm with you. I am with you on that. I'll give you that much. Joe just is giving you the finger right now on the side camera angle. I just saw that. He gave you the finger.
Joe's a Long Island guy, man. What about the Islanders? Come on, man. He sold them out. Hey, he's Mr. Florida now. He's sold out New York.
He's a Jets fan. He's a big Justin Fields guy now.
He is. That's what I'm saying. He's jumped on the Panthers wagon. We love Joe. No, he's been in Florida long enough. He's a Floridian. Look at him. He's oranger than Trump. He's a Floridian.
Don't tell anyone you went to see the Wallflower.
And I like...
Knicks really got past that playoff dragon for them that really stood in their way. So for the New York Knicks to be the Celtics and then an outright favorite to win the Eastern Conference Finals, that's where the disappointment is.
The goalpost got moved, right? Because when you went into the Celtics series, a lot of Knicks fans said they weren't going to beat it. I'll say this is more unprecedented than the 99 run when they were the 8th seed.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
No one is going to pick Indiana. No one's going to pick Indiana to make it close, honestly. Like, you could get tremendous odds if you pick OKC in 7.
I think that taking the series over 5.5 games, the last 2 NBA Finals series ended in 5. I think this one goes 6. I think the Thunder will get the job done, but I think the Pacers are just too strong of a team and too talented of a team and too deep of a team to lose in 5 or fewer games.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
So back with the mayor of Miami, Joe Ranieri, I'm Ferrall. So I want to go back to Thibodeau for a second, because since you and I talked about it and Gabe talked about it, I had a buddy text me, and he's like, Game 1 of the NBA Finals, call a timeout, or of the Eastern Finals, call a timeout when they melted down against the Pacers and Halliburton hit the shot, and they blew the game in overtime. They ended up, when they were up 17, then up 9, he never called a timeout. He just let it go down, and they caught him. And then immediately he said that he should have been fired for that, just for that alone. And then he also, right away, the guy said Jay Wright and Danny Hurley. Now, we already brought up Danny Hurley and Jay with Gabe. I want to know your reaction to, should he have called a timeout? And do you think that's what cost him his job? And what do you think of Wright and Hurley?
The bottom line here, I think, is the perception of Thibodeau in that organization and to the public. And we're talking about New York, Scotty, are we not? It's kind of hard to overcome the fact that you had one guy that you could rely on game in and game out to score for you, and that was Brunson. You didn't trust your bench. You didn't trust any of the people Leon Rose got for you on that when it mattered the most. Somebody's got to take the fall with that. It's New York, and it's no wonder it was Thibs going to be first on the chopping block, because you can't get rid of Brunson. You can't get rid of Bridges, who you just gave all that money to, or Anunoby. So who would be left to answer for it, Scotty?
Yeah, I guess it's crazy what's happened. We'll get back to Joe Ranieri in a little bit. We got Mike DeCourcy of the Sporting News, of course, Fox Sports and the Big Ten Network. He's on the take for the Indiana Hoosiers. Mike, good to see you. And I want to get your reaction to it first, of this guy getting fired, and, your thoughts on, we've talked about Michael Malone, we've talked about Jay Wright, we've talked about Dan Hurley, and it didn't take long today to get those names going.
Well, I don't think that Jay Wright is coming back to coaching. I remember I wrote something after the World Cup when the U.S. lost to Germany in the semifinals, that the U.S. needs a full-time basketball coach, men's basketball senior team coach, the way Germany had. And I suggested Jay Wright because it was an opportunity for one of the best coaches ever to work, but not have to work, but twice every 4 years, really. It got back to me. He wasn't even interested in that. He doesn't want to do it day to day. He likes his life, got a lot of money. He's happy doing the broadcasting. So I don't think that's going to happen. And I really do believe that Dan Hurley, if it was going to happen, it was going to be with the Lakers a year ago. Opportunity to coach LeBron in LA, a lot of money. I wouldn't rule it completely out, but it seems unlikely. It seems much more likely they'll go with an NBA level coach, somebody that's been there and done it. And I frankly, in regards to Thibodeau, look, he's very stubborn, very stubborn. And I think that you can watch what Landry Shamet did in these conference finals and say, where's that guy been? Like, why wasn't he playing him? Made shots at every opportunity, did a decent job on defense, didn't turn the ball over, and yet they wouldn't put him in the rotation prior to what was more or less desperation time. So the stubbornness of Thibodeau definitely cost him. I think you've got to be more flexible than that. When you see that you're being overrun by depth, which is what the Pacers' strength was coming in, it's not like here comes this curveball. Like, everybody knew the Pacers' primary strength, beyond they have some really good players, but the primary strength, the thing that they have that others don't, great depth. And Thibodeau did not adjust to that at all until it was too late.
You live there, right? Did you used to go to Pacer games and feel that they were building a playoff caliber, championship run caliber team? I always felt like that's what they were built for, the playoffs. I thought they had 2 5-man units that could play, and the second one was almost as good as the first.
Well, I think that they've done a great job. Kevin Pritchard's done an amazing job in building this team. Because don't forget, I mean, they picked they picked in the high lottery one time, and that was Benedict Mathurin. They have not really been the kind of team that's often gotten into the top 10. I think that was their first top 10 pick of the century, if I correctly, or I'm sorry, the first single digit pick. Paul George was 10 when he was selected back in 2009 or 10. So this is their first single digit pick, and they get Ben Mathurin, who's a really terrific offensive player, but still not a good enough defender to get high rotation minutes. And yet here they are. I think he's done an amazing job. I would not say that I saw it coming last year, that like they were going to be great last year. But I was surprised, honestly, Scott, that more people didn't believe in what they did last year, that they made that conference final. I think it was dismissed as a fluke. And I don't think that it was that. I think now that they're in the finals, they're showing they were really legit a year ago, and more people should have invested in that.
I agree. And I, had them both years beating the Knicks. I had them last year and this year. I thought this year would be easy work. And frankly, I thought it was. The Knicks won their desperation game 5 at home. Of course, they had to finally play 48 minutes for the first time in a month to get it done, because I always thought that they were kind of a 42-minute team. I never thought they played hard for 48 minutes like the Pacers do, up and down. Let me ask you about Charlie Baker now and his plans to change the NCAA field. What is it, 72 or 77? 70? What is it? I can't.
77 would be interesting. Yeah, it's either 72 or 76, and neither is necessary, neither is warranted, and neither is wanted by the public. What it is, it's wanted by insecure power conference commissioners that don't believe that with an abundance of teams, 18, 16, whatever the number is, that they can get enough teams in. So they want to expand it. And the problem with that, Scott, is that the SEC just walked in the door. And, hey, it was Greg Sankey who started this a couple of years back, 2-3 years back, who started this whole process. And then SEC walks in year one of a 16-team conference and puts 14 teams in the field. So it's not about whether there's enough bids. It's about whether you're good enough. The ACC hasn't been good enough for a very long time, and that's why they went way down in bids. And the SEC had their best season ever in terms of depth of the league, and they get rewarded with 14 bids. It doesn't help the tournament to expand it. The public doesn't want it. The television networks don't want to pay for it. The only people that really want it are coaches who think it'll help prolong their jobs, which they're not correct. As we just saw, Tom Thibodeau in the NBA got fired for making the conference finals. You're not going to keep your job if you're the 68th or 72nd team. It's not going to help. So that's just a fantasy. And then the people like Brett Yormark who think that this is the ticket to the Big 12 getting an abundance of bids.
Yeah, it's crazy. Respectfully, I have 1 minute. The Pulisic story you did, I watched these. You picked it right. PSG, you said would win, even though we were rooting for Inter. They got their ass beat. And when I watch teams like that, like seriously, and players like PSG has, and players like Barcelona has, and players, I'm sorry. Pulisic, for me, doesn't cut it against these guys around the world. He's not winning a World Cup. And I don't care how long you rest him.
Well, they're not going to win it, but the idea is to try to do as well as possible. We are literally 100 years behind the rest of the world, Scott. We have made remarkable progress in the United States over the last 35 years. But you are not going to cover all that ground in 3 decades. It's still a process, but having Pulisic at his best next year is essential, and I don't think playing in the Gold Cup would have helped.
Are you excited about the World Cup, Gold Cup, whatever the hell it's called, that's coming out?
I'm always up for more international soccer, Scott.
My man.
Falcons are actually relieved that he's kind of not there to create more of a distraction. Look, I mean, I said it the day it happened. It was one of the stupider decisions I've ever seen by a professional NFL franchise to sign a quarterback to a $180 million contract and then draft his replacement exactly 5 weeks later. This was a terrible organizational decision by the Falcons. Now, they're going to spin this, and this is what's annoying about the Falcons and their PR staff. They're going to spin this as if this is the plan we had all along. This is the plan that when, Kirk Cousins either got hurt or didn't play well or got too old, we were going to have Penix come in. And guess what? The new plan is now we're going to keep Kirk Cousins as a backup. So if Michael Penix gets hurt, we told you so. We were right for keeping him on the roster. We were smart for keeping him here. No, this whole thing has been an abject disaster.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The Steelers' interest in Aaron Rodgers as a joke. Your boy went off about the entire situation and why it taken so long to forget him. Terry Bradshaw getting involved.
Yeah, insane. Basically, what are you bringing him in for 1 year? All of this drama for 1 year at this guy, where he is now in his career is he's washed.
Ferrall coast to coast, only on SportsGrid.
We're back with the mayor of Miami, Joe Ranieri, and we're going to start talking baseball. So last night, there were 7 games. I hit 5 of them here on Coast to Coast, and the 2 big paydays for me were the Mets and the Angels. I had the Mets at plus, I think, $1.32, and I had the Angels at $1.27, winning in Fenway. Let's start with the Mets and Dodgers at Chavez Ravine. The Mets win at 4-3-10. Lindor hit a leadoff home run to start the game and had a double in the 10th. That was huge. Blackburn, the Pirate, went 5 innings, no earned runs, 3 hits, 3 strikeouts. Dustin May gave up 2 earned runs, 6 hits, and 5 Ks. Ohtani hit number 23 in the 7th, had a sac fly to tie the game in the 9th. It's the 27th straight game the Mets have won after a Lindor home run. I think the all-time record, Joe, is 29 games, and it is literally like 100 years ago. That's the last time someone's done that. 29 is the record. 27 is where they're at right now. Here's Lindor with his double in the 10th on Pix 11 in New York.
And he pulls that one over the bag. That's a fair ball. It bounces off the sidewall. Marte around third. He's going to head for the plate. It's an RBI single for Francisco Lindor. And the Mets have a 2-run lead in the 10th.
So you can't make this up, Joe. I used to do the show on, I think it was called Sports Night on Pix 11 with Scott Stanford, who is a really good friend of mine and a legendary guy in New York. He does 10-10 wins. He does the news, and he does it with a comic spin when he does the news. Like, so he does the news in the morning on 10-10 wins, which is give us 22 minutes and we'll give you the world. Yeah. But he gives you something more than that. He gives you a little juice when he's doing it. He also does WWE pre-fight. Have you ever seen Scott Stanford? And then he used to do the Pix 11 Sports Night, and I used to do it with him. And the guy that was doing the weather on Sunday nights was Mr. G. Do you remember Mr. G growing up in New York?
Yes. Wow. I think I ended up with CBS. I remember that.
Mr.
PIX
G.
used to be the home of the Yankees, right? I mean, I think growing up, I remember PIX had them and WOR had the Mets, right? Nobody watched that.
That's right. That's exactly right. And then, but they did this Sunday night sports rap show called Sports Night or whatever it is it was like the weekend of sports, and he would bring me in there. Mafia used to go with me sometimes. I don't remember. Like, remember Mafia? We used to park illegally in front of the place. I'd run in and do it, and then come out. Like, some nights I would do it. Some nights I would just do sports night at whatever. I think I would tape it at 9 and run in the building, tape it for the 10 o'clock, and then I was live at 10 to 2 on CBS. We'd drive from there downtown. Mafia would be doing like 90 in the city, running red lights. Anything for money, Joe. Anything for money.
Those were the good old days. That was a great
bet, right? The Mets plus $1.32 last night. Did you like that? With the Blackburn to Pirates pitching.
To me, that was, what were you going to get from Paul Blackburn, who just came off the IL, Scott, right? You're going, all right, really? Against the Dodgers, he's got to come off, and then he throws 5 innings of 3-hit ball and struck out. I think he struck out Ohtani twice in his first start this season. That, to me, was the ball game right there for the Mets. That's a great call.
So the Tigers, I had them as well. They win 13-1 over the White Sox on the South Side. And Flaherty went 6. The difference, he gave up 1 earned run, 4 strikeouts. 2 great starts in a row for Flaherty. I think he's gotten out of his funk and started to pitch like he did last year when he was so good in Detroit, went to the Dodgers, won a ring, came back to Detroit. When he started this year, he was awful. Now he's pitching again like the Flaherty that makes the good money, which he's making now in Detroit. They have the first team to 40 wins in the AL or in baseball, I think in general, right? 4 Tigers with multiple RBIs, first team to 40, as I said. Kerry Carpenter, how about this guy? Carver High had him last night to ring the bell, not only once, not twice. How does 3 home runs sound? Here he hits his 3rd of the game on FanDuel Sportsnet.
Infield there. Kerry, one more time. Kerry Carpenter's got 2. He has 3.
I mean, wasn't like, Carpenter. Do you remember the guy that this is different Carpenter. Remember the Carpenter the Yankees had like last year that retired? He came up and he was hot. Remember he was hot for like 2 months and he was hitting like 350 for 2 months. He retired. This is not him. This is, I think, Jesus' father, right, was a carpenter. I think that's this guy.
But I don't think he didn't hit 3 home runs in 3 at bats, though. I don't think.
He couldn't even
Matt
get a room at the
by
end.
the way.
He couldn't get a room at the end.
That's correct. Yep, that's correct. Now, all the Carpenters seem to be able to get the bat on the ball, but that game was over. Listen, you and I can look really good like Flaherty did if you spot us 13 runs there, Scotty, against the White Sox. And Carpenter, listen, what can you say? 40? Did you have 40 and 21 at this point in the season for Detroit on your bingo card?
No, but I thought, listen, Joe, I thought Hinch did a great job last year with the run that they went on over the last 2 months to get into the playoffs. I thought they were the best story in baseball last year. And the fact that that guy has come out again and they are winning again, and not only winning, have the best record, first to 40, and they're kicking everyone's ass. It really is a testament to how good of a manager he is, even though he spent years in Houston cheating.
Well, a lot, There's, I heard they removed all the garbage cans in the behind home plate, but that's a different story. 22-9 in their last 31 games, Scotty. What the Detroit Tigers are, it's crazy.
So when we come back, we're going to talk about the Friars. A big win last night in Oracle in the city by the Bay, in the Bay, a crazy game where Logan spinning a web had it all going. He was pitching great. But the Padres got it done, and we're going to do that. We're going to talk about the Brewers. They're on fire right now. Christian Yelich is on fire. You get it all on C2C with the mayor of Miami.
Falcons are actually relieved that he's kind of not there to create more of a distraction. Look, I mean, I said it the day it happened. It was one of the stupider decisions I've ever seen by a professional NFL franchise to sign a quarterback to a $180 million contract and then draft his replacement exactly 5 weeks later. This was a terrible organizational decision by the Falcons. Now, they're going to spin this, and this is what's annoying about the Falcons and their PR staff. They're going to spin this as if this is the plan we had all along. This is the plan that when, Kirk Cousins either got hurt or didn't play well or got too old, we were going to have Penix come in. And guess what? The new plan is now we're going to keep Kirk Cousins as a backup. So if Michael Penix gets hurt, we told you so. We were right for keeping him on the roster. We were smart for keeping him here. No, this whole thing has been an abject disaster.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The Steelers' interest in Aaron Rodgers as a joke. Your boy went off about the entire situation and why it taken so long to forget him. Terry Bradshaw getting involved.
Yeah, and saying basically, what are you bringing him in for 1 year? All of this drama for 1 year at this guy, where he is now in his career is he's washed.
Ferrall coast to coast, only on SportsGrid.
Joe, do you think I could sell crack on the golf course down there? Are we on the air? No? Don't talk about that. Move on. All right, so let's go to the baseball then. I thought it was an idea when you think about it, but then again, guys are a little old. It may not go over too well out on the first tee box. The Padres get the 1-0 win. I lost this game last night. I also lost the Rockies. That was it. But I lost this one. I went with the Giants last night because of Webb. Webb went 8 innings, no runs, 7 strikeouts, gave up 6 hits. You got to be effing kidding me. Is that not, Joe, the second best start of the year? The Paul Skeens 1-0 complete game loss to the Phillies at the bank on a Sunday afternoon was the hardest loss bet I had all year until this one. San Diego, your boy Iglesias, the love song artist, hits the sac fly in the 10th for the only run of the game. How does Webb lose that game last night the way he pitched?
Scott, he is so good in San Francisco when he pitches at home. All he's got, and all he's asking for is a couple of runs. Both these teams have had a really hard time driving runs in lately. They are almost dead unders every time we see them.
So the Brewers beat the Reds 3-2 in the Queen City at Great American. 8 wins in a row for Milwaukee. And they scored all in the 3rd inning. Are you kidding me? The Reds, 2 in the first, Brewers 2 in the second, and 1 in the third. Christian Yelich, this is all that matters. He hits a solo home run to give the Brewers the lead on FanDuel Sportsnet.
There's a fly ball in the center. Sending Friedel back all the way back and gone again for Yelich. He's got a baker's dozen and the hitting streak is up to 9 games.
So obviously what I meant to say was that all the runs were scored in those first 3 innings. And Yelich came through again. Didn't he just come out of a game precautionary on Sunday? And then he's back in the lineup Monday. So I think Friday, Saturday, he was hitting home runs. Sunday, he came out of the game. And Monday, he goes right out and does it again and hits the game-winning home run. Yelich, the player of the week, by the way, and tearing it up since.
Not him, just this team as well here, Scott. I mean, so much attention had been placed on the Cubs and the great start that they have had. But my goodness, I mean, the Brewers are looking to get Woodruff back. They're getting a little healthier. And I thought it was just a matter of time before they could actually start hitting again. This team is cruising 8 in a row, and the schedule very favorable for them moving forward. I don't think we should count out the Brewers at all in the Central.
So the Angels hold off the Red Sox. I had them at plus 127, as I mentioned. They win at 7-6 at Fenway. The Angels were up 6-0 in the first inning. The Angels are the first visiting team to ever hit 3 home runs in the first inning at Fenway. Think about that for a second, Joe. When I saw that today, now listen, I bet on him last night, so I was invested in that game. When they were up 6-0, I was like, and then all of a sudden it was 6-5, and I was like, oh God, here we go. They're gonna blow it in the 9th inning. So think about this. No team has ever hit 3 home runs in the first inning of a game at Fenway Park. A road team.
Wow.
You have got to be kidding me. That never happened before in the history of that ballpark.
Kind of crazy, especially at Fenway, Scotty. I mean, think about all the history and all the games, the high-scoring games we've seen. We've never had that before. And the Angels of all teams are the ones that do it? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. So let's listen to Trout with this monster shot on FanDuel Sportsnet to left center.
Second, 2 runs in, nobody out. Mike swings and sends a drive out to left center field. Yeah, baby! Get that one up over the monster. Mike Trout's 10th of the year. Do I see 454 feet?
Yes, you do.
Listen, 3 for 4. A monster home run, his 10th. All the RBIs, the runs. It is a shame what has happened to this guy with his body. And the fact that he just sat out for 3 weeks on another vacation, the first of many, I'm sure, this year. He's always got something wrong with him, the knees, he's got everything. But the fact is, when he plays and when he's healthy, he is so dangerous, so lethal, so unbelievable, and that's why he's making all that money. He's still got it when he plays.
Yep.
No, we're not.
Fun?
No, if the Knicks are losing, I'm gonna be miserable.
Be fine.
I'm gonna be miserable. Really? You know what? I'm saying Knicks are winning tomorrow.
Oh.
Fuck it. Here we go. Knicks are winning tomorrow. See that guy? No, that's the wrong guy. See that guy? See him? He over his assist prop. Jalen Brunson. He's going over his assist prop.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
Heard yesterday that he's got no shot to win the Cy Young because it's going to Skubal again. Skubal's winning the Cy Young. No shot for free.
They're both terrific. They both have incredible numbers and credentials and stats and strikeouts and ERA and everything. Like every single category, Fried is right there with him.
Ferrall, coast to coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Face. It's the new face. New face of what? The hell are you talking about? Like seriously. Oh, the new face of the NBA, Anthony. Yeah, okay. You know what I mean? Like, really? Guy's got 2 shots. You're the face of the NBA. Slow down. He's a good player. I've always thought the whole face of the NBA thing was comical. You want him to be the face of the NBA because you don't like it that all the other faces in the NBA aren't American.
Sports Rage tonight. Only on SportsGrid.